LeBron James walking away from the Los Angeles Lakers after 8 years. A seismic NBA shock that no one saw coming. And now the entire league is on red alert as Golden State, Miami, and Cleveland prepare their moves for a once-in-a-generation free agency explosion.
This is strange, doing this from across the pond, but the news, it certainly demands it. What more can you tell us about how LeBron came to the decision that he wants to play again, but it won't be with LA?
LeBron James made the decision on Tuesday here that he will enter free agency, but not only that, he has decided to leave the Los Angeles Lakers. Rich Paul, his agent, informed Rob Pelinka, the Lakers' president of basketball operations, that the Lakers can move on with their offseason because LeBron James is moving on with them. He is leaving after 8 years. He led them to a 2020 NBA championship. And so LeBron James had to first sift through whether he wanted to play another year, and all indications were he was going to do that. So a record unprecedented 24th NBA season awaits LeBron James at the very least, but then it was about where he was going to do it. And obviously there's been a lot of different moves over the last year or so with the Lakers, different priorities with the Lakers. Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, we know they're both on max contracts and their organization had decisions to make. And so before it can get to a point where the Lakers had to take time and wait, LeBron James made the decision for them. Now both sides can move on with their offseason. And so why? I'm told this is a happiness-led decision for LeBron James. He feels like he needs to find his happiness elsewhere, and wherever he lands in free agency, it will not be driven by money according to sources. And so it was a bumpy finish for him with the Lakers at different points, even though at the age of 41, he led the Lakers out of the first round pretty much by himself as that star player with Reeves and Luka Doncic out. But now, 8 years later, in LA, that's the most time he's ever spent with a team. He told the Lakers today that they can move on because he is moving on elsewhere. LeBron James will play for a new team in season 24.
All right, so LeBron James, he won a championship with the Los Angeles Lakers in 2020, but he is going to be moving on. The questions, Shams, they really only begin now. We've seen LeBron make huge decisions before. What's the timeline for when we can expect to know more about his new team, and do we know the teams that he is eyeing?
It's unclear, Malika, what the timeline will be for LeBron James. Right now, he's spending time in the Ohio area, spending time with his family. He's going to make a decision on his own time, but there's no question all of the NBA's contending teams are in the picture here for LeBron James. We'll call Rich Paul, will call LeBron James to express interest as soon as free agency opens up at 6 p.m. Eastern time tonight. But out of all the contenders around the league, teams expect the Warriors, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Miami Heat, all to emerge as among some of the suitors for LeBron James. Of course, you never know who could come out of the woodworks, who else could come aboard and pitch LeBron James on a vision to join a team and compete and be happy in his 24th NBA season. As I've been reporting for the last 24 hours, the Golden State Warriors had formed a grand plan going into this offseason to try to form a duo of LeBron James and Anthony Davis to join Stephen Curry and Draymond Green. And Draymond Green opting out of his $27.7 million player option gave the Warriors the flexibility and the wherewithal to go out and pursue both avenues. And so the Warriors will be working on that going into tonight's free agency.
Wow. Okay, so that is the LeBron James side of all of this, and that is certainly the biggest piece of this news. But the Lakers, they also have decisions to make here, Shams, and we've been hearing that this is the summer that they are going to go out and try to find a marquee center for Luka Doncic. Do you know how they pivot from here?
Look, they're going to have almost $50 million in cap space now that LeBron James is off their board, that he told them that, hey, you can move on with whatever you guys got to do because I'm out. So with that $50 million, what can they accomplish either via trades? They've been working parallel paths here. They've been trying to figure out Austin Reeves' free agency, waiting on an answer from LeBron James. They have Rui Hachimura to retain as well. But then even beyond that, they've been pursuing trade paths that bring in salary into their $50 million of space. But you think about in free agency, whether they want to pursue restricted free agents like Jalen Duren, Walker Kessler, whether there are other free agent forwards like Jonathan Kuminga, Tobias Harris, to name a couple, they will have interest in players like that. And now they're going to have $50 million to play with from a salary perspective.
And to think, Shams, free agency hasn't even officially opened yet. Thank you.
The 4-year, 185 max deal with the Lakers. He was apparently heavily courted by the Pistons, which helped ultimately raise the Lakers offer. I was a bit surprised by the Lakers going so high. I know we've spoke about, everybody's been speaking about how much money Austin Reeves was going to get. I just didn't expect the Lakers to go so high. On a team where you had Austin Reeves, you had Luka Doncic, and you had LeBron James, the team didn't fare as well as one would hope. So I thought, the Lakers would stand pat a little bit longer, maybe try to see if they can negotiate that number down quite a bit. But apparently the Pistons raised the offer. Congrats to Austin Reeves. Here's what I will say. I know a lot of people were coming up to me saying, maybe they're signing Austin Reeves so they can trade him later. And what I will say is this. When Austin Reeves was making $23 million a year, or whatever his last contract was, the value of a player is viewed differently when they're making $23 million a year as opposed to when they're making $45 million a year. That value is just viewed way differently. Number one, it's a lot tougher to move a guy who's making $45 million without depleting the team. We go back to where we were at the beginning of this segment. It's not easy to just move a guy that makes $45 million on trade. So I don't think this is just like, oh man, let's sign him so we can get value and we can trade out of him and get other guys. Number one, you won't be able to trade him until January. And that value just doesn't look the same at $45 million a year as it does at $23 million a year. So I think and believe the Lakers are all in on Austin Reeves. I think that's what this 4-year, $185 million max deal shows, is that they're all in. They believe in him. What I will say is what Austin Reeves should be on the alert for is everything's been peaches and cream. Everybody's happy. Oh man, look at him. He's making $23 million. He's playing at this level. It's great. That changes now. The expectation of what he's expected to do raises tremendously. I think Austin Reeves has had some struggles in the playoffs. You have those struggles making $45 million a year. It's not viewed the same way when you're making $23 million a year. I'm just telling you, I know everybody's going to say he was the second option. I'm just telling you, when you look at the contracts matter. And when you're making 23, you will not catch the same flack as when you're making 46. So I will warn Austin Reeves, prepare for what's to come with that. You have to play great now, like at all times. You have to have great playoff series. You're not allowed to struggle or people will crush you. That's what happens when you sign these bigger deals and you move up the hierarchy in the NBA. That's what happens.
Everything just changed instantly. No warning, no buildup, just a single decision that detonated across the entire league. LeBron James, after 8 years in Los Angeles, after a 2020 NBA championship, after carrying an entire franchise through eras of transition, is now walking away. And this is not a rumor. This is not speculation. This is confirmation. He is entering free agency, and he is leaving the Lakers. At age 41, heading into what would be a record-breaking 24th NBA season, LeBron James has detonated the structure of the Western Conference in one move. Rich Paul informed the Lakers front office directly, move forward. LeBron is moving on. No trade, no negotiation window, just an exit. And suddenly, the NBA is on red alert. Because when LeBron leaves a system, he doesn't just change a team, he changes the balance of power. But the most shocking part isn't just that he left, it's why he left. Sources close to the situation describe it as simple but devastating.
This wasn't about money, not about contracts, not about leverage. This was about happiness. LeBron James reportedly made it clear he needed a new environment, a new emotional reset after 8 years with the Lakers. Even after carrying the team through injuries, roster instability, and playoff pressure, even after pushing them through the West while others struggled around him, the internal feeling shifted.
The Lakers' direction also changed. building around younger cores, reshaping priorities around players like Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. And LeBron? He wasn't part of that long-term vision anymore. At one point, at age 41, he still dragged them out of the first round almost alone. But that wasn't enough to reverse the trajectory. So he made the decision for them. He told them, you can move on. And just like that, an 8-year era ended. But the moment he left, the entire league didn't just react, it mobilized. Within minutes of the announcement, contenders across the league went into emergency planning mode. Because this isn't normal free agency. This is LeBron James entering the market at 41 years old, still capable of shifting playoff brackets. 3 franchises immediately emerge at the center of the storm. Golden State Warriors, Miami Heat, Cleveland Cavaliers. Golden State is already believed to be working on an aggressive vision, pairing LeBron with elite veteran cores in a structure designed to maximize one last championship run. Miami views it as a reunion possibility, a return to a legacy that once defined an era. Cleveland? The emotional full-circle narrative is undeniable. And behind the scenes, rival executives are whispering something even more explosive. A multi-superstar alignment scenario involving LeBron James and other franchise pillars across the league. Free agency opens at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and the phone lines are already burning. No decision timeline is confirmed. LeBron is in Ohio with family, waiting, watching. And the league is holding its breath. But while the league scrambles for LeBron, the Lakers are preparing something massive of their own. LeBron's exit doesn't just create a storyline, it creates financial collapse and immediate opportunity. The Lakers now unlock approximately $50 million in cap space. That changes everything. They've been operating in parallel pressure systems, waiting on LeBron's decision while negotiating extensions, evaluating trade paths, and planning roster construction around multiple timelines. Now, the timeline is gone. They can pivot fully. Names being evaluated include restricted free agents, veteran forwards, defensive anchors in the paint, trade target centers to pair with Luka Doncic. This is no longer a retool. This is a reset under pressure. And the irony is brutal. LeBron leaves to find freedom, and the Lakers suddenly gain financial freedom because of his departure. But freedom doesn't guarantee stability. It only guarantees chaos with options. And right in the middle of that financial explosion, one contract decision is already creating controversy inside the organization. One of the most debated moves in the Lakers' direction is the massive deal for Austin Reeves. A 4-year, $185 million contract. That number changes everything. Not just for payroll, but for perception. At around $45 million per year, expectations shift instantly. Production is no longer evaluated normally, it becomes magnified under a microscope. Executives even debated whether his value would be easier to move at $23 million versus $45 million. Because in the NBA, price is identity. And identity determines pressure. At this level, struggles are not excused. Playoff inconsistency becomes narrative fuel. Every bad game becomes a headline. There were even internal discussions about whether this contract was designed for future trade flexibility. But the truth is clearer now. This is a commitment. A declaration that the Lakers believe he is part of the post-LeBron structure. But belief comes with consequences. And now, every possession he plays will be judged like a franchise cornerstone. And as pressure builds inside the Lakers, the entire NBA is now waiting for one final unanswered question. There is no official timeline for LeBron James' decision. No countdown. No leaks confirming his destination. Only speculation. Only silence. What is known? He will enter free agency. He will not prioritize money. He is prioritizing fit, role, and emotional direction. Multiple contenders are already preparing full-scale pitches. And that is what makes this moment dangerous for the league. Because when a player of this magnitude becomes available without restriction, the system stops functioning normally.
Franchises don't plan. They panic. They adjust everything.
And they wait for a single decision that can rewrite the next NBA Finals picture instantly.
8 years in Los Angeles ended without warning. A championship legacy remains.
But now, a new chapter begins elsewhere. And the league is no longer stable.
It is waiting.
Breathing.
Frozen. And the only certainty left is that the next move from LeBron James will not just change a team, it will change the entire NBA.
Yo, mic check 1 to 2, -1, -2. Game over for this video, folks. Smash that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe to stay in the huddle for more. This is NFL Madness, bringing the heat and signing out.